Hey family, Willie Moe Jr. here, and let me tell you something. To all of my followers out there, as I scroll up a little bit, shout out to Baton Rouge, St. Louis, and so many other people who are on this live. Tonight we're on Truth Talk. I bet you have no idea how The Rock has been acting on set. You want to know what he's been doing? You got to tune in. I bet you have no idea that President Joe Biden has the opportunity to do this. You say, what is this? You got to tune in to find out what this is. And of course, you know, there's always a famous FaceTime that we like to do on the show, so you never know who's going to pop up. Here's an opportunity for you to see all the beautiful people. Bree Renee, straight from the A.
What's up?
Dr. Viral.
Squad.
Yeah, and of course, the one and only Ryan Cameron.
Bam.
Shout out to the Brewers. Anyway, family, listen, I want to make sure that you get the opportunity to hang out with us. And there's only 2 or 3 or 4 ways to do it. If you have a Roku TV, of course, you can watch us there. Of course, if you can download the Fox Soul app, you can watch there. I would encourage you, because it's one of the biggest search engines in the world, to go on YouTube, click on Fox Soul, click that little live button at the top, and you will see us live. Now, you say, Willie Moe Jr., what can I do? Bree told me what they do?
I want them to drop in the comments so we can know how you feel about what we're talking about tonight.
Indeed. So do me a favor, get your truth juice ready, because it's about to happen tonight. I feel like arguing with Dr. B.
He don't want the smoke, y'all. I'm already viral. Go on to Shade Room. He don't want the smoke.
Don't you go over there unless you're going to protect her.
Thank you.
And to that other little brother that I'm going to see on Thursday, we're going to make sure you meant what you said. Hallelujah. Yes, we will. Come on, somebody. Family, make sure that you tune in to Fox Soul in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Flat out.
What up? What's going on? All right. Hey, I'm Ryan Cameron, radio host and 2-time Emmy Award winner. And in case you don't know, I'm also a member of the Black Radio and Georgia Radio Hall of Fame.
Okay.
And it's time
Come on, Ryan.
for your favorite show on TV is Truth Talk, all right? So, Bree Renee, introduce yourself and tell the people who you are.
Hey, y'all, I'm Bree Renee, straight from the A. I'm your favorite millennial's favorite millennial.
Hey.
And I'm the voice of the young people. And I'm so happy to be, you know, talking all things truth with my Truth Talks host.
That's right. And when it comes to the show, this show has you covered, and we ain't never told no lies. So now let me introduce the rest of my co-hosts, some heavy hitters in the business. First off, I call her Dr. Viral. We call her Dr. Viral. Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, what's up?
What's up, True Talk fam? Y'all know what it is. I'm your favorite doc, Dr. Bryant. I'm a psychology expert. I am the best-selling author, president of NAACP, and I am known for going viral all the time, like right now as well. For Breakfast Club, Nick Cannon, Cam, and it just keeps coming. And I've been viral from here, True Talk. So listen, tune in. We got some real good gems and fire for y'all.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we also got Willie Moore Jr.
Indeed, family, I'm Willie Moore Jr., radio host, podcast extraordinaire, and I wear a onesie, Baby Gap. Shout out to everybody. I bet your man can't do it like this.
Yep.
Listen, to everybody out there, we want to thank you so much for watching Truth Talks. I am so elated for the opportunity that we have every single night to bring some truth to your living room. Come on, somebody, your car, of course, your cell phone. But before I move on, there's one other host that never gets the opportunity to be invited the way she should. Her name is Berlisha the Bell.
Come on.
And so you will hear Berlisha when somebody makes an amazing point, or if somebody is just getting a little too out of hand. She acts as a referee as well. So when you hear this, don't be distracted. Just show some love to her.
Yeah.
Flat out.
All right, we got a packed show. So y'all ready to get started with some trending topics?
Rock and roll.
Yes.
Are y'all ready?
Let's
Yes.
rock and roll,
Okay,
Ryan
The
King.
Rock, a.k.a. Dwayne Johnson, is starring in a new holiday film called Red One, and now he's addressing some accusations of bad behavior on the set. It turns out there was a report about, his disrespectful ways, and he says it was partially true and not nearly as bad as it sounds. Now, an article dropped about Dwayne Johnson's work ethic on the set of Red One, and the report is about his chronic lateness, which was an average of 7 to 8 hours a day.
Wow.
And he also missed several days of shooting,
This is
which they
wild.
say inflated the cost of the budget by $50 million. So from $250 million, it is now $300 million. Now The Rock is opening up about the controversy, and he says that was a bananas amount. That's crazy ridiculous.
Yeah, Dwayne recently shared that his hack to save time while filming, and he admits that he urinates inside water bottles as he's away from his trailer so he doesn't waste time going to and from the bathroom. I don't know how y'all feel. Y'all know I'm usually here for oversharing, but do y'all feel like this was TMI and or unprofessional?
I think it's TMI, but I don't think it's unprofessional. I've peed in a bottle on my way to Vegas. Just because I had to go and there was no truck stops, and I was like, hey, pee in the bottle. And then
You were in the car?
I was in the car.
Okay.
I was driving at the same time.
I think if he had been on time, nobody would be tripping about you going to use the bathroom. Yeah, we'll let you go use the bathroom, right? But just be on time.
And I think because I have time management issues, it's probably why I understand the pee in the bottle thing. I do, but I mean, I think this is the thing, whatever gets you to work on time and you save the budget for the project, pee in the bottle, pee in the hat, just pee somewhere.
Pee in the hat.
It must be something about Vegas, because one time I took my grandfather to Vegas, may he rest in peace, and we were sitting in, and he said, I got to go to the bathroom. I said, you can't. I got to go to the bathroom. He said, I got to go to the bathroom. I said, you cannot go to the bathroom until they hit this little thing, doo, and then they hit the doo, and I was like, okay, you can go. He was like, don't worry about it, I already went. And I was like, what? And he had taken the Sonic bottle and put it up under the airplane blanket, and he was like, I'm good. We should do this in the Army.
Well, I think you and your grandpa might be alter egos. But anyways, right? Listen, what in the not washing your body is going on, y'all? During a recent interview with Kevin Hart and Chelsea Handler, they talked about the importance of washing your tail and scrubbing your body in the shower. And Chelsea revealed she does not wash her legs, y'all. Take a look.
White girls don't wash their legs. We talked about this. White girls don't wash their legs. I go, why do my legs need to be washed? Covered all day. It's very true. It's not like my legs are going out without me.
It's very true.
And when I take a shower, all the soap from my shower comes down. Tiffany, I had this conversation with too.
So you feel like that's washing? You feel like that?
It's not like my legs are out there gardening all day without me.
So bad. Wash your legs.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. What do you mean you don't think?
What is going on with your legs that they need washing?
It's your body.
Their room probably a little funky. Now, Chelsea Handler ain't the only white woman that has admitted to not properly washing. There's a hygiene culture war that's taking place, and it's a real thing, apparently. There are major differences between black and white people when it comes to bathing. Remember a few years ago when Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher admitted that they don't bathe their children frequently. Well, this subject has been trending all over TikTok. Let's take a look.
Do you wash your legs in the shower? No.
No.
I do it if I have like plans.
Maybe I need to work on.
I would love to hear from my brothers and sisters that have dated outside their race, that have dated white people, and how that experience was, or currently whatever it is, with hygiene.
So do y'all wash your body head to toe? Be honest.
Yes.
And do y'all think that black people take hygiene more seriously than white people?
Yes. My mama taught me early. You got to realize my mama 83 now. Yeah. She taught me at 5 years old. Now get up under them legs and get behind
them
your ears. Come on. You got to get way behind here. I think it's just something that we do. Here's the thing. Like my friends who were in college, of course, I ran track. And a lot of my pole vaulting brothers, I was just like, bro, like you going to take a shower and they'll pop in, pop out. I'd be like, you damn sure ain't washed nothing.
Yeah.
That was 30 seconds. We've been sweating for 3 hours.
But Willie and Ryan, do y'all wash your beard though? Because I have a thing with
of course you do.
Smell my beard?
Yeah, hey, come on.
Because the beard got...
No, this is for real. Now, see, there y'all go. Hey, listen, I was raised by my grandmama too, and basically, if you black, you getting in the shower with 2 washcloths.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
There's one for the face, and there's one for the rest of the part.
Right.
You know, I've been around white people, and they say, you know, they get in there with a bar of soap, and you know what a bar of soap and no washcloth mean? Dirty fingernails.
Nasty.
And my grandma always stressed too that you had to wash your face with a white rag. I don't know if y'all did that, but
to get the dirt.
It
So
was
you
for
can see it.
well, that too. And she used to be like the dyes from the rags could affect your skin as well. But I have a question. Do you know how they say like if you don't wash the back of your neck, it get black? Do that happen to white people?
I believe.
I don't know.
Based on the last election results.
Y'all didn't know.
Listen, based on the last election results, I believe it gets redder.
Okay.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, God.
Oh, my goodness.
All right, moving on to Issa Rae. This fall, students at Georgia State University and the College of Law will have the opportunity to delve into the legal aspects of Issa Rae's career under the guidance of their professor. The course will explore Issa Rae's journey as a Hollywood actress, writer, producer, and entrepreneur. The first class will open with a special visit from Issa Rae's mother and brother, setting the foundation up for her upbringing and her future success. So we're very excited about that.
Yeah.
Dr. Brian?
Yeah, and listen, y'all, I love Issa. One, she's an LA native like me. She's from Inglewood. And, you know, I love that her course is going to break down her real world contracts. She's going to give them things that entertainment attorneys should be doing, and it gives the students a chance to study, right? And how her deals go down is what she's going to be teaching them, what the entertainment industry is all about. And then, you know, the cool thing is, this is my thing, I really want to give thanks to the institution's law professor, which is a black woman. You know, y'all, I'm big on the black, who created the course, Morama Mo Ivory.
Okay, I love that. Yeah, Issa Rae says that she has no plans to be a professor, but she does encourage students who want to learn about the entertainment business to sign up for this class. Do y'all feel like celebrities should participate in sharing these like secret tips and tricks to the industry to help out those in college or the next generation of entertainment?
100%.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to this class. You know, Mo Ivory used to be on my show, and I know her very well. I've been to the one with Ludacris. She also did one with Rick Ross, and her students are very attentive, and it talks about from the ground up how they got to be where they are, and I think it's very informative. So kudos to Georgia State.
That's my alma mater.
All right, up next, the clock is ticking, and Joe Biden only has a few months of Trump-proof the White House. You know, the exit with a bang. Will it happen? We'll be right back, all right? So come on back for more True Talks. We're just getting started.
Yeah.
And welcome back to True Talks. While our show dives into pop culture, we also like to dabble in political news that shape the daily lives of Black Americans.
Indeed. So Joe Biden only has a few months in office before Donald Trump is sworn in. How much can he achieve in this short period of time before Trump comes in and makes some major changes? Now, here are the things we think should really be prioritized. Check this out. The current president could legalize marijuana.
Woo! Oh, my bad.
You yelled a little too loud.
I'm sorry.
He also can pardon those who have been behind bars for non-violent offenses.
Also
the
important.
majority of these folks are actually African-American people. My question to you is, how meaningful would this be for our community, which has been unwavering in our loyalty to the Democratic Party led by Joe Biden?
I think it's highly important that, and it's crazy to me that people are still being arrested for marijuana charges when there are certain states that are actually making money and profiting off of it.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's only right that it should now be wiped away. Their slate should be clean. They should be released from prison. And I think those charges should be expunged. Expunged?
Yep.
Whatever that word
Expunged.
is.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Expunged.
Give me that. Y'all did that. I struggled with it, but yeah, take it off their record.
Hey, can I be honest with y'all? I remember going to Colorado. I'm not saying that I was indulgent, but I was in one of those dispensaries.
Yeah.
And I remember walking in thinking to myself, I know at least 15 people who are in jail right now
For this, yes.
for what I'm walking in. It looks like a supermarket.
A
or something.
Walgreens.
It was so nuts. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the big things that people are learning now because of the legalization of marijuana in a lot of places that, you know, the old man on the street who was like, had the bags and all those packs,
Called the
he's
black
coming
market.
he's
It's called
coming
the black
back
market.
because they are taxing it so heavily now that it's nonprofit. You know, they can't make no real money off of it. So for all of my brothers and sisters that are in jail right now, you know, the karma is coming because it takes a lot of money to get these things set up. You also have to pay all these taxes. So again, if Joe Biden wants to pardon these people, why not?
Yeah, and I think that it's important that the folks who are still selling it on the black market, or were selling on the black market, that not only are they pardoned, but they also get the opportunity to have some type of like equity in it. So we have the equity back home in LA, where if you open up a business, they're able to get equity from the people who have dispensaries in their city, in the area.
I like that. I think that's important that we get a chance to have a seat at those tables as well.
Totally.
And then Biden could change foreign policy towards Israel and place tougher restrictions on weapons shipments or stop them altogether. Do y'all see Biden drastically changing foreign policy, or is there a better chance of Benjamin, say their name,
Netanyahu.
Thank you, Ryan, ending the war on Gaza and Lebanon when his buddy Trump is in the White House?
I don't think Joe is going to take any more big-time actions. I think if he wants to leave with a really great presidency and give an opportunity for African-American people to be, as what we talked about, as sponge, I think that could be the best thing that he's doing.
Absolutely.
When it comes to the international market, I think that is going to be led by Donald Trump. I mean, because ultimately, at the end of the day, there are people out here who are hurting nationally. So internationally, I know a lot of people are dying, but at the end of the day, I think he's going to do his best to make a real big impact on USA. When you have an opposing party saying, he did nothing, this is the worst party ever. I think he's going to do something special for us, but I don't think he's going to tackle international.
Yeah, I think at this point, he is the epitome of a lame duck president. I mean, I know that people really don't want to talk about it, but, but at this point, I feel like he's just going to let November go by, let December go by, and we're not going to really see a lot of political changes, especially not international changes.
Yeah, in my opinion, we haven't really seen a lot of political changes the 4 years he's been in office, so I'm not surprised that these last 3 years that we won't see anything else in addition to.
Now, we all know Trump is going to crack down hard on immigration once he's in office. We all heard about mass deportation, and Biden can get ahead of those severe policies by speeding up citizenship applications, handing out more work permits, or reversing an executive order limiting asylum. Now, Trump has threatened to deport millions of undocumented immigrants on day one. So how important is it for Biden to counter his actions, and will this be enough?
Yeah, I think that this is one of those issues, along with the legalizing and decriminalizing of marijuana, that he should try to get done. Like I said, I think the international feats are a little bit too big for him to get done in these like 50 days we have left. But I think that this is something that he should do, because these people really have provided and worked and been citizens of this country, and I think that he could do that. That's doable. So he should try.
I mean, one of the things that the new czar for Border Protection is saying, they was like, how do you feel about maybe breaking up families? Because there are people who came here 30 years ago, and you know, now they've had other children, now they're all American citizens. He was like, I have no problem with breaking up families. I want to deport the whole entire family.
That's so sad.
Wow.
And you know, each, what is it, $80 million per million, $80 billion per million people? So I don't know how to do that math and make that make sense, considering that they say that we're in this really huge deficit, and they're looking to like really displace the people who are homeless. I think there's a lot of things that we can do in this country that, and we can use our dollar a little bit more. Like, I think a lot of times we overlook the next generation who's going to get an opportunity to follow our example. Like, I take full responsibility for gangster rap, right? And I see what we did. We sold the drugs. Now this new generation, they doing the drugs.
They taking the drugs.
So they taking the drugs. So I just want to know, like, if we can kind of have a long form visual of, if we act this way now, how worse could it get for the residual effects of what seeds are being planted politically right now in 2024.
That's so good.
Yeah, that's good, Willie. And I think there's a lot of funds that are sitting there that are unused. I found in my city there was a lot of funds sitting there just unused that weren't distributed to certain places.
Wow.
Because there's a government hierarchy and process that it has to go through before the president can even use it. Especially when you're talking about Biden, who isn't a big veto type of president. Now Trump is going to come in and veto because I said so, run the play, and that's very different.
Yeah, the biggest thing that I would like Biden to do is step down and let Kamala Harris finish his term. Actually, I'm going to take that back. I don't really feel like, I think it would be nice to see him step down so that she could become the first woman president and the first black female president of the United States. But I don't think that he will do that. But let's take a look.
Being a transitional figure, he could resign the presidency in the next 30 days. Make Kamala Harris the president of the United States.
Whoa.
It would absolve her from being able to from having to oversee the January 6th transition, right, of her own defeat, and it would make sure that it would dominate the news at a point where Democrats have to learn drama and transparency and doing things that the public want to see. Is the time. This is the moment for us to change the entire perspective of how Democrats
Okay, this is now jump. Now, this is what a former aide is saying, but do you guys think that this is what Harris actually wants? Like, what is the likelihood of this even happening?
Come on, man. If you don't knock it off.
This
is not a baton race.
It's not happening.
You are the leader of the free world. This is not a baton race and the 400-meter dash, and you just hand the baton off and go off. That's not. I know historically it's going to make a lot of sense to a lot of people, and it's going to be great political fodder. But no, man, you don't. No. It's over, bro.
You don't give her a win by handing her off. She ran a campaign. She lost. Let her take the L. And that's just what it is. You don't hand off something in the last 50 days for her to run a country. No.
It's given consolation prize.
No, anything to
participation
defeat to defeat what I'm seeing on social media every single day. There's a new action that's going to happen first day of an election. Like, we got to realize these ain't the same United States of America that we lived in 20 years ago. This whole world right now is a big time reality show. And if you're not going to play the game, baby, you're not going to be in the game. So I thought that was a really, really great opportunity for us to start taking over news. Here's the thing. You do not understand how Hitler took over Germany. Many of us don't. He was able to do it through media. He locked down media. He locked down the radio. He locked down the airwaves. He continued a constant message. Now, I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist at all, but every single day I'm noticing that with a person who has 200 million followers on X, AKA Elon Musk, he's pushing out the Trump agenda every single day.
Every day.
Democrats, we're going to have to do something to disrupt it at some point to make sure that there's an opposing opportunity. I don't know if the Harris opportunity is the best opportunity, but we're going to have to do something.
Well, I know this. You know, we've survived a lot, you know, as black people. Slavery, lynching, segregation, and we will get through this like we got through everything else. So I'm not worried about what black people are going to do.
We're going to
If we're not going to pass this off, and Kamala, keep playing with your nieces and
drinking wine
and have a good glass of wine.
Just
all right?
do that, sis.
Up next, we explore a new phenomenon in office culture that's all the rage with millennials and Gen Z. You don't want to miss this. When we come back. Welcome back to True Talks. By now, most folks have heard about quiet quitting. And if you're unfamiliar with the term, it originated on the tickety-tock a few years ago when a 20-something engineer named Zaid Khan uploaded a 17-second video introducing millions of young people to the idea. So take a look.
I recently learned about this term called quiet quitting, where you're not outright quitting your job, but you're quitting the idea of going above and beyond. You're still performing your duties, but you're no longer subscribing to the hustle culture mentality that work has to be your life. The reality is it's not, and your worth as a person is not defined by your labor.
Wow, so quiet quitting is not really about quitting. It's actually about doing the bare minimum at your job. Now, workaholics like myself, they say that's out and phoning is in. The idea spread like wildfire among millennials and Gen Zs. Is this young generation is this their generational way of maintaining work-life balance? That could be a good thing, but what about protecting your mental health? Do you think that's what they're doing? Or are they just enjoying making sure that they do not burn out?
It's laziness. Is laziness,
right,
and entitlement.
What?
And like I tell my own damn children, it's time for you to act your wage. You don't pay no bills. I pay all your bills. I pay all your college tuition. So when you come home, you're going to be slanging this dough in this pizza restaurant, okay? I don't care what you think. They don't want to do anything but be on them phones, be streaming. They're going to be the next Kai Cenat. You not. Kai, you not.
Ryan, first of all, Dr. B, did you have wait, let me just say this. You said act your wage, and that's exactly what people are doing. These companies are not paying you enough to burn yourself out. It is about work-life balance. It is about self-preservation. And think about it. I actually pulled the statistics, Ryan. A history of occupation.
Come on, she's gonna prove they're not lazy.
I'm gonna tell you, no, we're not, because there is a history of occupational segregation that has forced Black and Latino women into roles that lack employee-provided benefits like paid and sick and vacation time. So we already get positions that don't give us those things. And then also the Black women who do get these jobs that do have like PTO, 11% of them are going, and 1/3 of the PTO goes without even being used because Black women don't feel like they can take time off. And that's hindering us in so many ways, mentally, physically. We're carrying on this stress. And we all know that whatever 9 to 5 you working at, you can burn yourself to the ground, honey. And when you die, they're going to scoop you up and hire somebody else and put them in that seat.
But I also think anybody who's working at a job and they're giving their all, they're in that hustle and bustle and all of a sudden going to quiet quitting, I think that's a a reflection of the leadership. A lot of time management is not inspiring. If management is talking down to people, disempowering people, and they're not having the people really feel like they are cared for, and they're having the people feel like they're disposable, that can deem somebody who would say, you know what, I will show up because I'm getting paid, but I will quietly not give you all of what I got. And the people who usually do the quiet quitting are usually the people who have a lot of value, who were bringing a lot to the company to begin with, but because of your leadership skills, you totally effed that up.
Yeah. So I believe this, and I'm gonna be honest with all three of you guys. I'm a strong believer that how you do anything is how you do everything. So for me, I realize that every opportunity I get, I'm auditioning for my next opportunity.
Absolutely.
So you never gonna catch me in an opportunity. I feel like, notice I never say job. Right? I've been working doing radio and speaking for a very long time, but I've never called it a job. The moment that it becomes a job, I'm no longer wanting to be there because I'm no longer serving, because this is no longer an opportunity. The Bible says the greatest among us will serve. So when you are serving someone or you're serving, I don't really care what's going on in this company, how they treat me, because I didn't put me here, right? So my perspective is always, I'm working unto God. You could treat me however you want because you are going to be, you going to get took out. Vengeance is going to be you. So if I'm in there, and then I also feel the unction when it's time to make a move. I'm not gonna stay longer than I want to. I think the biggest issue with this generation is a lot of times they just coming in for a check, and they're not in there for a priority the priority is not the opportunity.
Well, have you seen the cost of living, Willie? Sometimes you do gotta do stuff just for a check, and I think that a lot of millennials and Gen Zs are stuck in that place because it's like either I choose entrepreneurship or I went, which I did. I tried first. I tried to do the traditional route, like everybody told me. I got a degree. I went and graduated from Georgia State and got me a 9 to 5, and I worked a year and a half, and I saw that, wow, if I sit here and work and give this my all, in 40 years, the best I'm gonna get is to move down the road. That's all I get. I won't get no retirement package. I won't even get a watch at the end of the deal. I barely can pay my bills.
Then why did you go to McDonald's?
You know what I did, Ryan? I pulled out that cell phone that you said. We love McDonald's fries and sweet teas. But what I did, Ryan, is I pulled out that cell phone and I created my own path. And now I do get to serve in a community of people that I've built on social media, and I have paved the way to do what I actually love to do. But I'm one of many that actually know what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? So, go ahead, Ryan. Say what you got to say.
You are a hustler.
I am a hustler at heart.
You are a unicorn when it comes to your generation. I'm just sorry, you are different. You need to realize who you are and recognize the fact that everybody ain't built like you. But go ahead now, I'm gonna let you finish, Ye.
No, okay, so this is actually a direct response from young people. During the pandemic, many of them feel like they gave blood, sweat, and tears to these companies, and then they felt like suckers when they were laid off or told they could no longer work from home remotely. And we saw that a lot of these jobs could be done from the crib. Okay, they found that quiet quitters made up for almost half of the labor force, but weren't they always working and just mailing it in? And do y'all feel like this is just a catchy term now on social media?
Yeah, I think it's a catchy term, but here's the thing, like, if I can just be really honest with you, if you are an entrepreneur, that means at one point you may have been working for somebody. Full transparency. The reason why I give my all to certain opportunities, because I got a staff of 11 people out there. So I feel like if I come to Truth Talks and bring an attitude and not ready to win, I feel like if they see me doing that on television, then they're gonna think that they can bring that same attitude to the business. I think if you got a bigger perspective and understand that you're there for a reason and you got a bigger goal, any job can work as a stepping stone towards your bigger goal.
But where do you draw the line? That's my thing. Like, I definitely, y'all
the line for what, Bree?
Y'all all have worked with me, right? So y'all see, I will show up. I'm going to be on time. I'm going to be.
Now you're going to show up early.
And I'm going to be a pleasure to work with and do my job. But if it ever came to the point where I felt like I was being taken advantage of or overworked and underpaid and underlooked, then I feel like that's where the quiet quitting comes in. You have to draw boundaries for yourself, because if you give and give, they'll just take.
Yeah. And to that point, Bree, there are a lot of folks out there who are indifferent about their jobs. But it's really workers under 35 who are growing more and more disengaged. On the flip side, America's biggest corporations have complained that their employees are not being productive enough. But don't these companies play a role in employees being undermotivated and uninspired? That's what I just said early on, right, y'all? Is quiet quitting actually a symptom of poor leadership and management? Hey, that goes to my
what the
point.
doc just said.
That goes to my point. With my team, I make sure that I am empowering. If I have to criticize them, it comes from a very empowering place. It doesn't come from a place of disempowering them. And then after I disempower them, I expect them to go out to the floor and sell out my merch. That doesn't work like that. I like them to feel like they have skin in the game. And every single one of my Dr. Bryant team members, they feel like it's their company.
Yeah.
They feel like it's their business. They literally will check me on things and be like, nah, Doc, it's 3 o'clock. Doc, we're supposed to do this. Doc, where's the merch? Doc, let's go. And I'm like, I let them have that leverage, because if I want them to push my company like it's theirs, I have to give them skin in the game so they feel like they want to personally be invested. You can't force somebody to be invested in your stuff.
Well,
and there's a certain leadership that just doesn't work right for people.
I agree with that 100%. What I've said to a lot of people is this: it's very hard for people to help you with your dreams if they still trying to chase theirs.
You just told me that.
Ooh. We just talk about this all the time. I mean, I don't have a staff of 11 like Willie. I have a staff of 3, and they are 26, 23, and 21, and that's my kids. And what I like to tell them is this: listen, and if I call into them right now, they'll tell you, what does Daddy always say? Do what you need to do so you can do what you want to do, right? And the goal in all of this, when you're out there working, is to make sure that somebody draws a line under your name and not through it.
Yeah.
And if you're not showing up and trying to be working your best, you know, they're going to draw a line through your name, and you're not going to get the call.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, what's clear is that this reverse hustle, when it comes to your job, takes a toll on your coworkers. We've all had to pick up the slack for one of our colleagues who just checked the boxes and refused to take initiative. So it's a group project. They got an A, but they ain't do nothing, right?
Right.
Should quiet quitters stop being so passive aggressive and go find jobs they're more passionate about?
Now, I got to say that, Willie, go ahead. I was going to say that I don't think they only should stop being quiet and passive at the job. I think they should speak up to that management or leadership, even if they decide to truly quit or stay, and with some emotional intelligence, let that leader or that management know that this is not okay. Let me set some respectful boundaries. And if you can't respect my boundaries, then I have to find somewhere else to bring my value to, where I can be fully involved and fully give all of who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like it how you said that. I felt that in my
Yeah,
shot.
because there's people that'll pay you.
That's good.
Other places.
What's your worth?
One of the things that you got to be really invested in when it comes to where we work is that we get paid on the 10th and the 25th. There's nothing that shows how much wherewithal you have when you have to go to your rent every month and go, I'm telling you, it's coming. It's coming. The 10th and the 25th. Who does that?
Right.
When we return, is this just corporate propaganda to redefine the social meaning of work? You don't want to miss it. We got more True Talks when we come back. The 10th and the 25th, everything late.
Everything late.
Everything late.
What we doing?
And the 20.
Come on.
It is.
You're right, though.
25th. We'll get paid on the 25th. And welcome back to our show. You know, we're talking about quiet quitting. There have been a lot of negative connotations around the term quiet quitting, but at the end of the day, it's really not failing to do your job. These workers are simply refusing to go above and beyond their duties. And it's just a way for employers to get more from the worker without compensating them. And why is it always expected for workers to go above and beyond with not really getting anything in return?
Yeah, I feel like these companies don't ever go above and beyond. The most you're going to get is a pizza party. And it's like, we've been getting those since we was in elementary school. And I was just talking about this earlier with you, Ryan, off camera. I was like, I've been in jobs and worked for corporations before where I was always the one they could call last minute to come fill in for somebody. I was dependable. I would help close deals with clients. I was a very valuable asset, and they paid me in mouth money, as I like to say. But it never really transferred over to my bank account. And then once I started to show them my worth by being less available, and then they want to continue to sing my praises, but at that point, I'm already burnt out.
But Bree, let me ask you a question. Why do you or y'all's, millennial group not speak up? You guys are more of a passive group. Versus like me as a Gen Z, even though I'm a millennial, I'm a Gen Z, mentally, I'm going to speak up.
Yeah.
No, you got to respect me and pay me. I'm just not with it. Why don't y'all speak up? Just
I think because I think we have tried to, and then we didn't see that it didn't get us anywhere. Or they'll be like, you too mouthy, you just talking back, you just smart mouth. Like, it gets dumbed down. But I think that what helps with that is having, and which I've been so blessed to, especially in the entertainment industry, I've always had, I call it a black woman angel. I've always had like an older black woman at different networks and different positions that I've been in that have advocated for me, that have been in the industry longer, so their opinion is respected more than mine. And then they will go into these rooms and advocate for me while I'm not there. So I think that helps. We need more of those in whatever workspace it is.
Bree, I'll be honest with you. I just got to stay true to my belief. My favorite books say if they ask you to go 1 mile, go ahead and go to. I remember like literally getting invited to a cruise from a very popular radio host. And like literally I was like, he want to bring me? And I went and I brought my wife at the time and they kept calling every hour. Hey, can you do a video here? And it's like, oh, she was like, is they paying us? Are they doing this at 3 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah.
I was like, no. You know what the Bible say? They say if we go 1 mile, they go 2. 6 months later, one of the radio hosts who had a syndicated radio show, which I always actually wanted, he ended up going through some things. And so they interviewed so many different people. But then somebody in their building said, hey, what about the dude who kept doing the videos for us? Does he do radio? Because he's really charismatic on camera. They called me. I was no name in that particular industry, but I ended up going in being 100% myself, and then I was able to get this syndicated radio job. Am I saying that that is the only way to go? I'm just saying that there's some foundational principles that I have on the inside of me that it doesn't matter how they respond to what I do. I know that my Father in heaven is looking and saying, if you're doing it unto me, there is a new opportunity that's going to always come. So I don't want anybody, millennials, Gen Zs, baby boomers, or whatever, to miss the opportunity to represent who you are. Like when I come in, I am the table. And that's just the way I'm coming in.
And Willie, to your point, I do agree with you because a lot, and I tell people this too, even my younger Gen Zs and everything, that like every opportunity I really have gotten came from me doing something for free first. Like somebody I met while I was doing something free, an opportunity that trickled into something, but you can't always do something for free.
That's what I was about
so
to
that's what I'm saying. There has to be a balance. No, but even I still might do something for free now with the discernment if the Lord moved me to.
But Bree, the
But I'm not doing everything
the Bible
for free.
says to turn the cheek, but it also follows up by saying don't be a fool.
Right.
So after you turn the cheek once, baby, turn back and don't be a fool.
Exactly.
Because an eye for an eye is okay sometimes
It's
too.
some balance.
You have to make sure you stand 10 toes down on who you are because God blesses the bold and he blesses you at the level of your belief. So don't go for it and stand up. And I got your back. I'll advocate with you.
Thank you, Dr.
I mean, there's always going to be adjustments, but I'm just saying, like, when you come in, either you do your best or you don't. Go ahead, Ryan, I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying, one of the things about all of this, man, is you got to be ready when it's your turn. You
Come
know,
on, Ryan.
most of my
Come
career has
on,
been
Ryan.
based on other people flopping and not being ready, and me being right there waiting on them, and they say, you know, we're going to give you a shot. And I'm like, you should have never gave me no shot. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's the whole thing about this panel
love that.
and why we're on True Talks, because we were ready, and we've been on other shows and seen other people and how they operate, but we are unapologetically black and we are true to ourselves. And what I've always said to people is like, you know, we have my Ryan Cameron Foundation for the last, you know, part of we go to the top of the Peachtree Plaza, which is 72 stories high. It takes 1 minute and 3 seconds to get from the 72nd floor to the ground floor. And I say, what would happen if the person you admire the most got on this elevator and you had to pitch yourself to them? What is your elevator speech? And they have to do that to graduate from the class, because a lot of times you're in a situation you never know who you're going to meet. I always say, I never know when I'm going to have this opportunity again. And I never get afraid, and I'm never scared of who I'm going to meet. I'm like Bone Crusher out there. I ain't never scared.
Right.
So if you get this opportunity, you know, go out there and be ready. But you got to be ready.
Yeah, you gotta be ready.
Maybe the term needs to change because it may be misleading.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see anything wrong with doing the bare minimum if that's just who you are. If it's your job that you apply for, as long as you do it to the best of your ability. It seems like corporate propaganda to me. What happened to 9-to-5 jobs where they can leave the work behind once you go home? A lot of times what we're seeing, statistics have shown that more than 71% of people actually have to bring their work home. So there's no real work-life balance. I am not a fan of that. I believe that you have to make sure that what's important stays important.
Yeah, I learned from somebody a long time ago. They said you got 2 bags, right? You got a work problem bag and a home problem bag.
Yeah.
And when you get to the house, you got to put that work problem bag down, and you got to go and you got to pick up that home problem bag. But when you go to work, you got to do the opposite, because nobody wants to go into their house and then you got all these work problems, because guess what? You're not going to have a work-life balance, because it's going to overshadow, it's going to overlap, and you're going to have yourself a very bad situation.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are working remote now. So it's kind of hard to leave, you know, your work at home when your work is at home.
Right.
I mean, you can close your laptop, of course, and then to your point, Willie, if you're going to be, you know, going 100 in the 50 or 200 in the 100 MPH, then work coming home or work after hours is the way you do it. You know, like I know my office may close at 6, but sometimes I'm taking sessions to 9 p.m. at night. I'm hopping off the plane, supposed to take the day off, and I'm going into sessions, going into the interview, going into sessions, and then going into do a show. And I love it because I love what I do. So I don't sometimes want to go home and not do my work.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, I really think it depends on where you are in your life. If you are working for a corporation or if you're working to build your own dream or something for yourself. Because I listened to an interview recently with Obama, and he spoke about how there is no balance when you have something that you're trying to build. There are going to be seasons where you are honed in, you got those blinders in. I feel like I'm in that season now. I mean, I think that's what you were describing about being so passionate about what you do. When you love what you do, sometimes the life balance is going to fall off a little bit because you're so focused on the goal at hand. And I'm sure he was talking about when and referencing when he was running for president and how his personal life had to take a little backseat, and how Michelle was so supportive of that because he had to run this presidential campaign.
And if it really makes you happy, it is balanced. Willie, you asked me that at the end of the other night. You're like, Doc, how in the hell do you just stay so energized? And I said, because what, Bree? I said, I'm so happy, Willie.
I'm happy.
When you're miserable, you're drained. When you're miserable, you don't have this I am truly freaking happy, and so I'm just on a high all the time. That's
One
my
thing
energy.
about the pandemic is it proved a lot of people were liars.
Yeah.
You know, let me explain that because, you know, people always said, man, if I just had the time to write this book, if I just had the time to start this business from March of 2020 until 2023, you had damn near 3 years to do all the things that you said if you just had the time to do, and you didn't do nothing.
Professor Ryan, I want to tell you, I took full advantage of that time, and we just now getting to the end of like the residuals that we were able to do. We wrote a book, we produced a documentary, we partnered with churches, but I had 3 children in the home, and that was really, really unique. And so what I always tell people about balance is, honestly, I'm kind of with President Obama. There is no work-life balance. We live in the milestone, which means as a family, we collectively look at what we're going to do. Even with this show, before I said yes to it, I sat down with all of my children and said, hey, this is what it entails, because if it's not on paper, it's just a wish. It ain't really a dream.
Come on.
So I put it on paper. I said, this is what it will entail on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I have to do it for this long. Are we all in agreement? And they said yes. Now they're starting to renege a little bit, but that lets them know that you are the most important thing to me, and we have to collectively make a sacrifice for this type of goal. So to any entrepreneur out there, I know they talk about grind on Monday, work grind on Tuesday, but baby, we on a triple-double, God, family, and business. So you can be dope in business, you can be dope with God, and your family sucks. So what Dr. Eric Thomas has taught us, my mentor, my friend, and my brother who I travel the world with, what up, it's your boy E.T. He's taught us early in the game. He said, you got to have this amount of money in your bank account, and we do the triple-double. God, family, business, and we live in the milestone, not in the balance.
I think one of the things that people need to recognize is that we don't always need to hit a home run. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of times people come up to bat and they trying to knock the ball out the park. You know what? It's people in the Hall of Fame. If you hit the ball, 20 times out of 100, you're going to be in the Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying? So hit some singles, hit some doubles. You might have to bunt every now and then, but as long as you get on base, you can still play the game.
Right, I'm always trying to hit a home run. You're right. I'm coming up to bat. I'm trying to swing all the way over that fence every time. And when I don't, I'm light on myself, but I'm that person. I am the home run person.
One of my fans said, "Shorty, swing my way."
I mean,
that's what they just said.
Swing my way.
He says, "Shorty,
why you always have to hit the home run?
You know what? Because I feel like for some reason, to me, it's really important to come out swinging, so that everybody who's in the stands, who's in the dugout, who's in the management, who's recruiting all the scouters, they can see from that first bat to that last bat the value in Willie. So you line up all your opportunities, so then you have a bidding war. So you understand that there's always opportunities, because to Willie's point, you're always coming out swinging. And if you do happen to strike out, you coming out trying to hit that home run again. So you're always looking for the next big play. Everything is big. I like the big. I'm just a big dog park.
Do you feel like that is that underlying black woman pressure of having to be 3 times as good as everybody else and showing up at above standard every time?
That's that I am so, remember I'm the oldest of 7, so I'm so used to it. I was the oldest for 10 years. I'm so used to being in competition with me for 10 years that when I go up to bat, all I see is me. At first base, it's me. At third base, it's me. At shortstop, it's me. So when I hit it, I'm also making sure the shortstop, Dr. Brian, is catching the ball. So it's me against me no matter. So I'm running bases and I'm trying to get me out, and it's all working. And how that works is it makes it to where I'm not in competition with y'all, so it makes it easier for me to tee y'all up. Does that make sense? Because I'm not competing with you.
And I love that, because I will give you your flowers publicly. You are one of the first black women that I've ever worked with in show business that I didn't feel like they felt like I was competition, and they wanted to work with me. And it was more of like, even if we disagree, I love that. So I have to give you kudos for that.
Thank you.
And dreams don't have deadlines. That's from LL Cool J's book. It's not something that I coined, but I appreciate it. One of the things that is very important to me was like when I came up with the idea, I was riding on the train one day going to the airport, and I was like, man, they should say Concourse A as in Apple. Concourse B as in whatever, and I submitted a proposal to the city. That was 9 years ago.
Wow.
9 years ago and 3 administrations. But now somebody said, that's a great idea. And now when you come to Atlanta, Hartsfield, Jackson Airport, you hear me. But it was one of those things where
now
I put it down.
You the voice? You didn't say
Yeah,
that.
I mean, you know,
Not you hear
listen,
me.
I'm
Not
just
you
saying
hear
this.
me. Don't.
If you traveling,
Hit a
do
home
not
run.
sex traffic.
And don't leave your bags
And Ryan King,
unattended.
hit a
keep
home
these bags to
run.
yourself.
You are the voice of the
Ryan,
airport.
I want
Thank
you to
you.
say, and F is for food stamps. And as a millennial, this just seems like retribution, y'all, against the young folks who don't want to be indentified servants. That's what it really is, and they are pushing us back. Do y'all think this is just another attack on millennials and Gen Z, just to give y'all another reason to call us lazy, and have boomers resorted to shaming people into working harder?
No, listen. Every generation is gonna think they did it the best.
That's right.
Like, you know, being a member of this amazing fraternity, like every time whenever there's a new line, they was like, y'all didn't have it like we had it.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
there's
yeah.
always gonna be a comparison, but understand comparison is the thief of joy. We want you to be joyful. Like your generation is gonna have a whole lot of zeal, but use the wisdom of the last generation to say, hey, let me get the knowledge and the zeal, have more conversation so you can go out there and win.
We do need more doctors and electricians, though.
Yeah. Hey,
Amen.
y'all, I'll tag into the doctor thing, but listen up, y'all. It's not just the workers who practice quiet quitting. A lot of times companies are giving folks the bare minimum to merely just survive.
Yeah.
We should also be talking about quiet firing, where employees make you so unhappy that you want to leave. Do you see this as a passive-aggressive way for employees to force you to quit? And have any of y'all actually experienced this? Because it sounds like it's way too common.
Yeah, for me, it was like I retired from the radio after a long period of time, and I just felt like I had had enough. And I had a manager who was a micromanager and was always asking about certain things and always trying to tell us different things. I remember one time he was like, you know what? I don't think these bits y'all are doing are funny. And at that point, I was like, so who is your favorite comedian? And he didn't have an answer.
Wow.
So if you don't have a favorite comedian, how you gonna tell me what's funny?
You don't know funny.
You don't know funny.
Right.
Funny don't recognize you, and you don't recognize funny.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So you know, I mean, that is my example, and I didn't quiet quit. I said I'm out.
Yeah. Same for me.
See, I like that.
Well, I kind of did quiet quit in a way, not in the way that they're talking about, like just slowly doing the bare minimum, but I was like, I had another opportunity and I can no longer work here, you know what I mean? But it was because, like you said, they slowly started paying me less and wanted me to do more.
Brie, I would hire you at any time of my company. You are on early, you are very chill, you don't do no quiet quitting, and you gonna let me take advantage of you, but I'm not. That's why I would hire you, because I wouldn't.
sound right.
Because I wouldn't.
Okay.
I wouldn't.
Up
Shoot.
next, we'll
Willie,
have
don't
more
even-
on quitting, except
You know
this time
what?
it's about
Say that
quitting
out loud.
romantic relationships. So if you are in a romantic date, keep it right here for some raw and real romantic advice when we come back on Truth Talks.
Oh, Bree. Like, new Bree set it up.
Okay. Like I said, I would.
And welcome back to Truth Talks. We are talking about quiet quitting, and now we're going to move on to relationships. We couldn't call the show Truth Talks if we didn't keep it real when folks ask us for help. One of the hardest parts of life is navigating relationships, so we're about to hit it or quit it.
Okay, y'all, we asked our viewers to write in with tough questions when it comes to relationships, and here's one from an anonymous truth teller. They shared, I've been a serial dater for a few months now, and I finally found someone on a dating app that caught my attention. We started talking on the phone and off the app for about 3 months, and then we both finally felt comfortable to meet each other in person. Now, I was so excited to finally meet that person that has been on my mind every single day. We went to a restaurant for our first date, and when my date took a seat at my table, I realized that he was a woman and not a man. I felt catfished and confused. So when I asked my date why was she not upfront about her gender at first, she said that she was scared, and I never dated a woman before, but I really like this person, y'all. Should I hit it or quit it?
She got to get out of there. But that happened to me. I think I told you I was on
You
a
did.
dating app. I showed up and it was a woman.
Was this
it was
from you?
It was for me, right? It was a stud woman, but because I told her I thought it was a man, and she said, you clicked the wrong thing on the app. It was my first time on the dating app. We just sat, ate, and had a drink. And then after that, we went our separate ways, never talked again. But I enjoyed myself with her. But she understood I was looking for a man.
Yeah.
But should she hit it or quit it? Your advice?
I think if the woman is going to pay for the dinner and she's really hungry, stay and get you dinner, have a nice conversation, a glass of wine, and cut it. What's the big deal?
I like that. I think that because you obviously have a connection with this person, you guys really bonded for 3 months about a lot of different things. I think that maybe just try being friends first and see if you can romantically get past the gender thing, because you just never know how what packages your blessings might come in. So maybe I'm saying,
if the woman already knows she's not a lesbian, how can she try?
But she obviously felt loved and connected to her heart and her soul.
My first question would be, how did you not know over the phone that it was not a woman? A woman and a man's voice is very distinctive.
Well, no, they take a lot of, enhancements now to help switch.
And a lot of women choose to not see red flags that are already there because they're just that desperate to want to go on a date.
Yeah.
So she might as well stay on a date with this lady because she's seen the red flags. And clearly, girl, you missed them. So take your date and maybe do like Bree said and see if you can build a chemistry with a woman.
Love comes in all shapes and sizes.
And 90 days, come on, man.
And
90 days. I mean, most things are based on 90 days. You get a job, how long they give you? 90 days before they fire you, all right? You know, when you put something on layaway, how long before we know he ain't gonna pay? 90 days. Credit, 90 days. You talk to this person for 3 months and you never said, let me see your face.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You didn't ask for FaceTime? Not one time?
Yeah.
Not one time did you say, let me see your face.
That's a lot. And honestly, I wouldn't have dated anybody for 90 days without a date. Like, after 90 days, you don't want to take me out?
Listen,
you got to be something.
There were red flags where they was on the phone and he was like, hey, baby, I'm just calling to check in. And he slipped up and was like, and you know, girl, I know it happened. It had to. There's no way.
That underlying deception will always be foundational. So no matter where it goes, it'll kind of be like, yo, you know, it was kind of just off. So I always believe foundationally how you start is sometimes how you finish.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's almost like, for me, it's like, okay, if you can be that dishonest for 90 days, what else can you be dishonest about?
That's a good
And so
point.
I'm looking, for me, people want love. I really want loyalty. I want people who are gonna tell me the truth, straight no chaser. The other night, I had the opportunity to talk to one of my amazing friends, and she was just like, bro, like, you still on some womanizing stuff. And I had to take that. Like, as hard as I'm working, it's still showing up.
Who is
so
your
you wanna
amazing friend?
So you wanna deal with people who
Who is your amazing friend?
Did you have the key
Who
left
was
up
your
under the
amazing
mat?
friend?
Like, what'd you say?
You
Girl, you better go and get your clothes and get them up out of here. What'd you say?
Hold on, Ryan. Ask him who was his amazing friend.
Who was
you better
your
drop
amazing
flowers.
friend?
Man, listen, I have no idea who that person
Is she
is.
sitting on this stage?
As y'all see, we be telling the
that's
truth
my dog,
on
though.
and offset, okay?
Yeah. No, I mean, to be honest, you want people who going to be honest, because you can trust their word. Because if your word don't mean nothing, baby, to me, you don't mean nothing.
And like you said,
so shout out to the doc for that, free session that she
How
gave
you
me.
get them is how you lose
Don't
them.
expect to get free sessions
At all.
I'm cracking up. How you get them is how you lose them. That's what you're saying. So basically, you got her by lying, you gonna lose her because you lied.
Not all the time.
Okay, well, whatever.
But this one started off.
Give love a shot.
Listen, if y'all want relationship advice, you don't have to book a session with me. You can just ask us here, and we'll have a whole discussion about it. And then after that, if you want to, you can book a session.
Right.
But ask us here first.
Go in the comments on YouTube or on Fox Soul. And of course, unfortunately, that's all the time we have for tonight. We will see y'all tomorrow for more candid conversation on Truth Talks. Be sure to follow us on all of our socials and right here on Fox Soul YouTube.
Slide in our
Good
DMs.
night. Yeah, slide in the DMs.
Not mine.
And we don't like catfish. We like tilapia.